Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is John. I'll be the admin for the class tonight. And I want to turn over the class to John Emily. She's going to start the orientation for us. For those who've just come in, please kindly turn on your camera so we can see who you are and you can see us. And again, welcome to the Willpower Institute. John Emily, please.
Okay, thank you, John. Um, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to Willpower Institute Maple Group Orientation. Can everyone hear me? Okay, okay, good. My name is Emily, as John said, and I'm an instructor with the Willpower Institute. It's a very special day for us today because it's an opportunity to introduce you to the teachings of Prajan Lungpa Vidyang Sedentaro. He's a Thai Buddhist monk, or was a Thai Buddhist monk, and he was the founder of the Willpower Institute. It's also kind of a special day because it's the ninth day of the ninth month, which was a very auspicious number for Prajan Lungpa. That number to him was very special. Sadly, he passed away in December of 2020, just a couple of weeks short of his 101st birthday. So he was amazing. You're going to learn about his life tonight, his many accomplishments, because we'll be showing you a biographical video of his life. We'll do that in just a few minutes, and you'll learn a lot more about him. He also has an ecclesiastical title, which sometimes I have difficulty pronouncing, but you'll see it in the video, okay? And for those who are not familiar with some Thai and Pali terms, we'll do our best to explain along the way. Pra means monk, Ajahn means teacher, Lungpa means venerable father. So basically, it's Prajan Lungpa. Okay, um, it's similar to what we use here in North America, in the Western world, right? We call our ministers reverend, or Catholic priest, we call him father, rabbi, imam. So it's very much it's a title that we're all accustomed to. Okay, they're all titles of respect, obviously, for spiritual leaders, of which Lungpa was one, obviously. So this evening, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to share some ceremonies with you that are part of the Thai culture. So I have always thought of this course, of the English language willpower course, as a hybrid or a fusion course, because it combines elements of the Thai culture and obviously elements of North American or Western culture. Most of our English language instructors are not Buddhist, but the teachers in the Thai course are Buddhist. So we celebrate our diversity, as well as our similarities, giving us the opportunity to learn from each other. And believe me, we learn a lot from each other. Um, and let me reassure you right off the bat that this is not a course in Buddhism. Okay, we're not going to discuss the suttas, or sutra in Sanskrit, um, or study the scriptures in depth. Um, but you will obviously notice some Buddhist concepts because, of course, Prajan Lungpa was a Buddhist monk. Okay, and it's a short agenda tonight. It's not lengthy. We'll try to keep things moving along, okay? But before we move along, I did want to mention to you, just wanted to take a moment to talk to you about the name of your group. It's called the Maple Group. And when Lungpa was alive, he loved to name all of the groups. And they were usually something that was very strong and durable, like diamond or jade. I'm a member of the Jade group, actually. Um, and he liked to kind of wait till the last minute, and he would tell us what our name was. And so that was always kind of exciting. Okay, for instance, this is the third Zoom group that we've had. And the first one was called the Moncolion group, meaning auspicious knowledge. The second group was called Sequoia, after the giant redwood that I'm sure most of you are familiar with. And it, of course, is symbolic of longevity, strength, endurance. And then this year, we decided to name you the Maple Group, which also has a lot of meaning, especially to our First Nations people. There are many myths about the sugar maple, for instance, okay? And in some indigenous cultures, it's actually, March is called Sugar Moon because that's when the sap begins to run, okay? And eventually the members of many of the tribes learned how to collect the sap and to boil it down into a syrup, which of course they taught to Europeans and as the Europeans came. So that's how we have maple syrup. But it was very, very special because it was felt that it was a gift from the Great Spirit and that it had healing properties. Okay, and also obviously sometimes food was scarce, so they could take that the maple sugar and they could mold it into cakes, into sugar cakes. So it gave them some sustenance. So anyway, that's about the maple sugar tree. But of course, there are many, many types of maple trees, and we're lucky here I live in the Niagara region. We have one of the oldest maple trees here in this region, and we're very proud of that. It's really nice to know. So I just want to let you know that the name means something. Okay, you're probably wondering what's this maple group thing? That's what it is. Okay, and so now I'm going to call upon Nova, who's another one of our instructors, and she's going to tell you just a little bit about the history and the creation of this meditation course. Okay, so Nova, if you're ready.
Hi, everyone. So nice to see so many of you here tonight. And I'm really happy to be able to share this evening with you the orientation so you can find out more about the course, more about the master teacher, and hopefully you'll all get your curiosity going and want to start attending classes on Monday and just keep taking them one day at a time. There's lots to learn and it's a lot of fun. It's super interesting. So I put together just the brief history of how the course was created, and I'm reading it. So as a young boy, Lungpa Viriang Serentero suffered a great sickness, followed by a miraculous healing that set the stage for the rest of his life. To show his gratitude for his recovery, he made it his life's mission to reduce world conflict and increase harmony in relationships by teaching people of all faiths the benefits of meditation in promoting well-being and achieving inner peace. So in short, he believed that meditation was the key to world peace. And so his journey began as a young teen, choosing to enter the monkhood in the Theravada Buddhist tradition in Thailand. Viriang spent 8 years as a forest monk with his mentor teacher, known as Prajan Gangma, followed by 4 years with his second mentor teacher, the esteemed Lungpa Mun. For centuries, the knowledge was passed down to the monks word of mouth, from teacher to student. There was no writing or no books to study from while in the forest. It was only the scholar monks in the urban areas that had the privileges of having books to study from. Viriang recognized that the sacred knowledge pertaining to meditation, which had been solely reserved for the monks, was too invaluable not to be shared with ordinary people. He graciously asked Lungpa Mun for his permission to record the knowledge in writing so that in the future, he could share the practice and the benefits of meditation with all people. Viryang received his teacher's blessings to do so. Upon receiving his ordination as a Buddhist monk, Lungpa Viryang Surintero went on to be the founder and Lord Abbot of the temple called Wat Dhammamin in Bangkok, Thailand. A time came when he began to suffer with a very bad back. He decided to settle in Doyantanon in northern Thailand while trying many therapies to heal his back. And it was during this 5-year period of healing that he wrote 3 meditation books in the Thai language, followed by an additional 10 years of writing to complete these same books in English. For centuries, this ancient meditation technique has been proven to be tried and true. It is these books that we study from today in their original form. This course is steeped in rich tradition and culture that will take you on a unique personal journey as you learn about meditation and reap its many benefits to create peace in your life and in those people that are around you. So in closing, I have a quote from Lungpa Viryang Surintero, which I will read with respect and loving affection, as he said these exact words in his broken English. Meditation is not religion. Every religion can meditate. Meditation makes you have high benefits, just like money. Money can make you happy. You buy property, you buy car, you buy things, happy. Meditation, different kind of happy, but makes you happy. So there you have it. I encourage you all to attend meditation classes and to discover what this happiness is all about. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Nova. That's a really nice lead-in to the video, which John will show us. He is, as he said, he's admin. He's also our IT person, and without him, we'd be lost. So now we're going to show you the video of Lungpa's life, okay?
Biography. พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยัง was born Wiriyang Buntikul on the 7th of January 1920 near Pak Phraeo railway station in Saraburi province to a father Khun Pen Pachanarom and a mother Mrs. Man Buntikul, who are the parents of 7 children. Some years later, his family had moved to Si-Kiu district at Nakhon Ratchasima province. One day, when he was a boy at 13 years old, one of his friends who was a girl asked him to come to a temple with her. She wanted to go to study with Pra Ajahn Gongma Jirapunyo and needed a friend to come along. The study took many hours, and the boy Wiriyang had to wait for her to finish studying at almost midnight. He was there since early evening, so at that time he became extremely bored. However, he didn't want to go home because he had to go by himself, and the way home was very dark and secluded. In fact, he was really afraid of ghosts. In his boredom, he started to think inside his mind repeatedly to the words, "Mai ma ik lao, mai ma ik lao." Those words mean I will never, never, never come back here again. Suddenly, he felt a strange sense of calm, as if his body has disappeared and has no weight. He saw himself separated into 2 bodies overlapping one another. Then, one of the bodies walked down the pavilion in front of the temple. he felt a superb, cool breeze had blown through his body, giving him an extraordinary sense of calmness and happiness. He thought to himself, "This must be the grace and power of Buddhists that still exist in this world." Later, those two bodies joined together again just when the study had ended. That was when he woke up. He told about his extraordinary experience to Prajaan Kongma, who seemed very surprised. Prajaan Kongma said that, "I have never taught this boy to meditate. How did this phenomenon strike him so early?" After that phenomenon, the boy Wiriyang had strong faith in Buddhism and began studying meditation from Prajaan Kongma. One day, the boy Wiriyang worked very hard pounding the rice mortar, trying to fill a rice bucket. He worked harder more than usual and was very tired. For a moment, his mind went blank as he had fallen down unconsciously and became paralyzed. His father was confused and began to consult many doctors. Even the modern medical doctors were despaired and said that there was no hope for a cure. In his state of helplessness, the boy Wiriyang prayed and made a wish that if anyone could cure him of paralysis, he will devote his entire life to Buddhism. A few days later, an ascetic dressed in white robe, who is an old man with an unkempt beard and mustache, came by and asked his father if he could treat the boy Wiriyang. Having the permission from his father, the ascetic in white knelt down next to the boy Wiriyang and asked the boy, "Is it true when you made a wish that if you were to be cured of paralysis, you would devote your entire life to Buddhism?" The boy Wiriyang said, "Yes." The old ascetic asked the boy to repeat the vow out loud again, so the boy Wiriyang spoke the vow again. After the old ascetic heard the vow from the boy Wiriyang's mouth, the old ascetic then chewed on a yellow ginger root and blown the cud from his mouth all over the boy Wiriyang, turning his body into a bright yellow color. The old man then stood up and walked away, disappearing into the night. The next morning, the boy Wiriyang felt better to his body. He thought that he could move a bit. So, he tried to get up. It was a miracle. He was cured of paralysis and was able to walk again. About 7 o'clock in the morning, in front of his home, the boy Wiriyang saw the old ascetic stood with his eyes closed, carrying his alms, waiting for an offering. The boy Wiriyang then brought an offering to the old ascetic. Just about when he was to put rice in the alms, the old ascetic told the boy Wiriyang to stop and told him that he would accept his offering only if the boy Wiriyang repeated his vow again. The boy Wiriyang repeated his vow as the old ascetic requested. Then the old ascetic opened the alms to receive the offering. After that, the old ascetic told the boy Wiriyang to follow him to the tamarind tree in Wat Pa Sawang Arom. Under the tamarind tree, the old ascetic asked the boy Wiriyang to repeat his vow again. So he did. On that day, before departing, the old ascetic told the boy Wiriyang to bring an offering here the next morning. The boy Wiriyang came to the tamarind tree the next morning, but the old ascetic was not there anymore. And since that day, Luang Por Wiriyang had never seen the old ascetic in white again for his entire life. In 1935, at the age of 15, the boy Wiriyang became a white-robe novice. Then, a year later, on the 22nd of May, 1936, he was ordained and became a Samanen, which is a novice monk at Wat Sutajinda in Nakhon Ratchasima province. 10 days after his ordination, he accompanied Prajaan Kongma Jirapunyo on pilgrimages into the forest in search of solitude and peaceful life. They would spend time trekking in a forest to find a quiet place for praying and meditation. Sometimes they would walk for days without any food, or occasionally had encountered some wild animals and other dangers. For many times they had to walk over 50 kilometers in a day over a mountain to arrive at the destination. However, they had never given up their plan. It is a lifelong dedication to practice meditation to both of them, พระอาจารย์กงมา the master and Wiriyang the novice. They had committed their lives to the principle of meditation practice and Dharma to persevere, and for those principles must be upheld more than life itself. On the 20th of May 1941, at the age of 21, a novice monk Wiriyang was ordained to become a monk at Wat Sai Ngam in Chantaburi province. The ceremony was arranged on a boat in a river. For the next 8 years, หลวงพ่อ Wiriyang went on pilgrimages with พระอาจารย์ Kong Ma to various destinations in Thailand. One day, พระอาจารย์ Kong Ma led the young monk Wiriyang from Chanthaburi province to Sakonnakhon province to meet พระอาจารย์หลวงปู่มั่น Puritatto. พระอาจารย์มั่น was the grand master of Vipassana in Thai Buddhism, and he was the one who had restored Vipassana meditation in Thailand. The young monk Wiriyang was to study meditation and tranquility of the mind and became one of his students. พระอาจารย์ Wiriyang was chosen to be พระอุปถาก which was an intern monk to work and to learn closely from พระอาจารย์หลวงปู่มั่น for 4 years. After that, he had attended to พระอาจารย์หลวงปู่มั่น for another 5 years. For many days, หลวงปู่มั่น and หลวงพ่อ Wiriyang had gone on to pilgrimages together. During that time, หลวงพ่อ Wiriyang intensely studied Dharma teachings and practices from หลวงปู่มั่น. With หลวงปู่มั่น 's permission, he kept note on all of his teachings, which later on was published into a book titled Mutto Thai. Achievements. พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อ Wiriyang had built 15 temples in Thailand, 6 temples in Canada, 2 Buddhist monks' colleges, a building at National Institute of Development Administration University at CQ District, Nakhon Ratchasima Province. Established Prateep Dek Thai project in 1975, and later the project became a foundation. This successful project had built more than 1,000 child development centers in the rural area of Thailand and had helped many thousands of unhealthy kids and parents. A hospital ward at Jom Thong Hospital, Chiang Mai. A Kosom Pisai Hospital at Maha Sarakham Province. The Jom Thong City Hall, the primary education office in Chiang Mai Province. Awards and recognition. พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อ Wiriyang had received many international awards and is recognized and honored as one of the most revered monks in the world. พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อ Wiriyang joined the World Meditation Day, which was approved at the 22nd World Fellowship of Buddhist meeting from the 9th to the 13th of December 2002. The project had a sole purpose of bringing peace and harmony through meditation to all mankind. The building of Wat Tham Mongkon Temple. Wat Tham Mongkon Temple is considered to be the official temple for พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อ Wiriyang Sirintharo, which he was entitled to be the Lord Abbot of Wat Tham Mongkon. In 1963, พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อ Wiriyang built a small cabin, which was the first building structure of Wat Tham Mongkon. In 1976, His Majesty King Rama IX, accompanied by Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn, and Her Royal Highness Princess Julapon Vilailak, presided at the foundation stone laying ceremony to build the pagoda named พระวิริยมงคลมหาเจดีย์ศรีรัตนโกสินทร์ at Wat Tham Mongkon. This pagoda is the place where Lord Buddha's relics are enshrined. He has also built พระพุทธมงคลธรรมสีไทย the biggest jade Buddha in the world and also the biggest jade statue of พระโพธิสัตว์กวนอิม at วัดธรรมมงคล When the Jade Buddha was built, reporters from CNN News arrived to broadcast a report for an article of the world's biggest Jade Buddha. In 2012, พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยัง started a new project considered to be the biggest temple ever built in his career. That temple is Wat Sri Ratana Thammaram Temple.The temple is not very far from Bangkok, which is in Samut Prakan province. Wat Pa Lerth Tham Nimit was the last temple that Phra Ajahn Lwang Paw Wiriyang had built in his career. It is considered to be very modernized and is in harmonious with nature and trees, but also suitable for meditation practice. His noble titles, Ecclesiastical Peerage of Thailand.It is a tradition in Thailand that the king will appoint an ecclesiastical peerage to Thai Sangha community. An ecclesiastical peerage is similar to a noble title. The titles will be appointed for those of ordained members who are revered for the Thai people, and a fan of rank will be given to a monk with a letter of appointment. พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยังสิรินทโร were granted many titles during his monkhood. Those titles were: Year 1955 became พระครูสัญญาบัตรธรรมยุตตนิกาย Order, bestowed in the title of พระครูยานวิริยะ Year 1967 became a member of พระราชาคณะ of Thailand ธรรมยุตตนิกาย Order, bestowed in the title of พระยานวิริยาจารย์ Year 1992 became a member of พระราชาคณะ of Thailand ธรรมยุตตนิกาย Order, bestowed in the title of พระราชธรรมเจติยาจารย์วิมลญาณภาวิตธรรมิกคณิสรณ์บวรสังฆารามคามวาสี Year 2002 became a member of พระราชาคณะ of Thailand ธรรมยุตตนิกาย Order, bestowed in the title of พระเทพเจติยาจารย์สุวิธานศาสนกิจพิพิธุราธรยติคณิสรณ์บวรสังฆารามคามวาสี Year 2010 became a member of พระราชาคณะ of Thailand ธรรมยุตตนิกาย Order, bestowed in the title of พระธรรมมงคลยานศรีลาจารวัตรวิมลโสพลวิเทศศาสนดิลกสาธกวิปัสสนาธุรธรยติคณิสรณ์บวรสังฆารามคามวาสีYear 2019, graciously appointed by the King of Thailand to become a High Council of พระราชาคณะ of Thailand, ธรรมยุตตนิกาย Order, established in silver card titles of พระพรหมมงคลยานปูชนียฐานะประยุทธ์วิสุทธิญาณโสพลโกศลวิเทศศาสนดิลกสาธกวิปัสสนาธุราธรธรรมยุติคณิสรณ์บวรสังฆารามคามวาสี Year 2020, graciously appointed by the King of Thailand to become a High Council of พระราชาคณะ of Thailand, ธรรมยุตตนิกาย Order, established in gold card titles of สมเด็จพระญาณวชิโรดมพุทธาคมวิสิทธิจิตตานุภาพพัฒนดิลกสาธกธรรมวิจิตรวิเทศศาสนกิจไพศาลวิปัสสนาญาณธุราธรธรรมยุติคณิสรณ์บวรสังฆารามคามวาสีอรัญญวาสีสถิตณวัดธรรมมงคลเถาปุญญนนวิหาร Willpower Institute Internationalพระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยัง is the founder of the Willpower Institute, which was first established at Wat Tham Mong Khon, Sukhumvit 101, Phra Khanong District, Bangkok, Thailand. Founded on July 24, 1997, Willpower Institute offers meditation instructor course for the public. The course runs for 6 months of practice and teaching fundamentals of meditation in order to increase the strength and power of the mind. More than 60,000 instructors have graduated in the past 20 years. Willpower Institute Canada was among the first international meditation center that was established by พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยัง in the year of 1999. The meditation instructor courses were introduced to Canadians for the first time that year. The first meditation instructor course in Canada was taught by พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยัง himself. Up until now, Willpower Institute in Canada has 6 meditation centers and 6 Buddhist temples in Vancouver, Toronto, Ottawa, Niagara Falls, Edmonton, and Calgary. Willpower Institute USA. The meditation instructor course was first introduced in USA about the year of 2007. In 2018, พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยัง had established a meditation center in Los Angeles. Willpower Institute Suyano International Headquarters was officially opened on August 3, 2018 in Los Angeles, USA. 1 year later, 2019, พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยัง had ordered Willpower Institute International to teach meditation instructor course in Sydney, Australia. พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยัง had planned to also open Willpower Institutes in China, Germany, and Italy. The goal. พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยัง spent most of his life in monkhood and dedicates his whole life to help people by teaching meditation. He believed that society can be peaceful by using mind power because when a person meditates, he accumulates mind power to control emotions, then the mind becomes calm and achieve knowledge and promote reasonable thinking, responsibility, and compassion. So, if more people practice meditation, then more people will be calm and has less conflict in society. Through meditation, the world can be peaceful. พระอาจารย์หลวงพ่อวิริยัง had walked in the footsteps of the Lord Buddha who said, "My disciples go forth and instill goodness of benevolence for the benefit and happiness for all people in the world."
Thank you, John. Well, now you've seen a little bit about Luang Por. You can see an extraordinary life that he led, with a lot of unusual experiences when he was a young man. He was. Has anybody been to Thailand? Have any of you been to Thailand? If you ever do, good. If you ever do, and you're in Bangkok, it would be worth your while to visit Wat Damankol, and see the jade statue there. In Niagara Falls, we have a 16-ton piece of jade, but Luang Por decided to leave it in its natural state. So it's not carved, it's just 16 tons of polished jade. And that's where we do our walking meditation in that room. And it's quite an experience. But anyway, as you could see, life was not always easy for Luang Por Vidyang. At that time, of course, he was just Vidyang. But he persevered, he studied, he practiced meditation for many years, as Nova told you. in the dense forests of northern Thailand. And he, after a few years with Ajahn Konma and with Ajahn Mun, he began to really perceive the benefits of meditation. He began to experience a lot of peace and what he called extraordinary happiness through meditation. And he wanted to share this with everyone. So he made his way from northern Thailand all the way to Bangkok, where someone had donated some land to him. And when he tells the story, or when he used to tell the story, it was basically sort of swampland. But anyway, he began to teach, and many Thai people began to come to hear his teachings. And so then they helped him. They helped him to clear that land. And today, of course, it's quite extraordinary. So if you're ever there, it'd be good if you could try and visit it. Okay. But again, he wanted to share what he had learned from his master teachers. And so after he had established himself in Bangkok, he began by teaching monks. And at current time, I'm not sure. I know that there's a lot of monks at Wat Dam and in the different temples. So he began to teach monks, and then householders, or maybe what we call lay people. So he began to do that in and around Thailand. And then, as Nova had also mentioned, that he then had his writings translated into English. And he felt that he wanted to open English-speaking classes because it's a universal language. And that in most countries, there's at least a little bit of English taught, right? So this is why he wanted to connect with more and more people. So he first brought his teachings to North America, to Canada, specifically Canada, over 20 years ago, as you heard. And at that time, he was around 78 years of age, and he taught himself English, which was quite amazing. He told the story that other Thai people who spoke English didn't want to teach him because he was such a high-ranking monk, and they kind of felt that they weren't worthy enough to teach him. So he taught himself how to speak English. Okay, and so as was mentioned, we have at the current time we have five or six meditation centers in Canada. And then eventually, of course, he established Willpower International in Los Angeles. And here we are tonight in a Zoom course. Luang Por liked to, he liked to call his meditation course high tech. He used to tell us it was high tech because, of course, he spent, many years in the forests of Thailand learning meditation. But when he wrote the books, when he wrote his teachings down, he condensed it into a 6-month course. And so he said that was high tech. Well, now, I'm sure that wherever he may be, he is looking at us and thinking, wow, now it really is high tech. People can actually learn this meditation technique and able to access his teachings from the comfort of their own homes, like all of you, and just with a push of a button. So he would be very pleased, I think, to have a high-tech course. We're also, at this point, we're going to share a very traditional Thai ceremony in which we're going to ask to receive the teachings from Luang Por. And in Thailand, Charmaine is also an instructor. She's here. She also taught with me in Thailand. In Thailand, teachers are very, very respected, which was a real eye opener for us. Okay, so they respect all teachers there, and so much so that once a year there's a ceremony where students pay respect to the teachers. And they make offerings, they bring gifts. I think it's called Wai Kru, I think. One of the Thai people can correct me with that. And so it was really amazing how honored, how much they honor their teachers. So master teachers, master meditation teachers like Luang Por are especially held in very high esteem. Okay, excuse me. They're very well respected, and so we're going to try our best to honor him this evening. Now there is some chanting that begins with before this ceremony. It's going to be a video, so you will see it on the video. Now the words are probably unfamiliar to most of us. It's in a different language, obviously. However, I'm sure our Thai partners will help us out. However, we're saying these chants, and there are other chants which we'll talk about in class next Monday when we start class, doesn't make us an instant Buddhist, okay? But if it's outside your comfort level, if you're not comfortable saying them, then by all means, you don't need to say them. You can simply choose to watch and to listen. What we have found over the years, 20 years of teaching, some people start off, I'm not going to do that. I don't like that at all. And then they eventually begin to realize because there's English translations, of course, of the words, begin to realize what the words mean. And so people usually will follow along. But as I say, it's entirely up to you, okay? And so it's called a flower offering ceremony. And in our centers, we actually make the offerings. I did a little mini one, okay, because all I had were some birthday candles. But anyway, it consists of 3 incense sticks, okay, and they represent the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And so the Dhamma, of course, is the Buddha. We know who the Buddha is. The Dhamma is the teachings, and the Sangha are followers of Buddhism, okay? So that's 3 of those. 2 candles, which represent light or awakening and enlightenment, okay? And a white flower, which represents purity or pure mind. So it's a very lovely ceremony. It's probably not one that we have done before, but just remember, every culture has some kind of rituals and ceremonies, right? And so, as I say, we're very connected with the Thai community. And so we are very happy that they shared these things with us, okay? So John, if you're ready, maybe you could show us the video of the flower offering.
ขอให้นักศึกษาสวดนะโมพร้อมกันนะครับ นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะต่อไปเป็นคำปฏิญาณตนขอให้นักศึกษากล่าวตามครับอาจาริโยอาจาริโยเมพันเตเมพันเตโหหิโหหิอายัสสมะโตอายัสสมะโตนิสายะนิสายะวัชฉามิวัชฉามิอาจาริโยอาจาริโยเมพันเตเมพันเตโหหิโหหิอายัสสมะโตอายัสสมะโตนิสายะนิสายะวัชฉามิวัชฉามิอาจาริโยอาจาริโยเมพันเตเมพันเตโหหิโหหิอายัสสมะโตอายัสสมะโตนิสายะนิสายะวัชฉามิวัชฉามิขอท่านพึงเป็นพระอาจารย์ขอท่านพึงเป็นพระอาจารย์ของข้าพเจ้าด้วยเถิดของข้าพเจ้าด้วยเถิดข้าพเจ้าจะอยู่รับโอวาทจากท่านจะอยู่รับโอวาทจากท่านปยิกังสาธุพันเตสาธุพันเตปฏิรูปังสาธุพันเตสาธุพันเตปัสสานิเกนะสัมปะเดหิสาธุพันเตสาธุพันเต
ขอให้นักศึกษาสวดมอบตัวเป็นศิษย์ขอให้กล่าวตามนะครับ อัชชตัดเคธานิ
อาชาตัดเคธานิ
อาจาริโย
อาจาริโย
ไมหังพาโร
ไมหังพาโร
อะหัมปิ
อาหัมปิ
อาจาริยสสะพาโร
อาจาริยสัพพาโร
อัชชตัดเคธานิ
อาชาตัดเคธานิ
อาจาริโย
อาจาริโย
ไมหังพาโร
ไมหังพาโร
อะหัมปิ
อาหัมปิ
อาจาริยสัพพาโร
อาจาริยสัพพาโร
อัชชตัดเคธานิ
อาชาตัดเคธานิ
อาจาริโย
อาจาริโย
ไมหังพาโร
ไมหังพาโร
อะหัมปิ
อาหัมปิ
อาจาริยสัพพาโร
อาจาริยสัพพาโร
ตั้งแต่วันนี้ไป
ตั้งแต่วันนี้ไป
ขอให้ท่านได้โปรดทำหน้าที่
ขอให้ท่านโปรดทำหน้าที่
เป็นพระอาจารย์ของข้าพเจ้าด้วยเถิด
เป็นพระอาจารย์ของข้าพเจ้าด้วยเถิด
แม้ข้าพเจ้าก็จะทำหน้าที่
แม้ข้าพเจ้าก็จะทำหน้าที่
เป็นศิษย์ของท่านพระอาจารย์
เป็นศิษย์ของท่านพระอาจารย์ เชิญเลยค่ะ เชิญเลยค่ะ ค่ะ
Thank you, John. Thai people are very organized. Us Westerners, maybe not so much. Anyway, that's a very, very special ceremony. And to those of us who've had the honor of meeting and knowing Prajan Lungpa, we obviously have wonderful memories of his kindness, his compassion, his sense of humor. He had quite a sense of humor, and his wisdom, which we still carry in our hearts. We hope to share his teachings with all of you. And through us, you will also begin to know how special he was. Yes, it's true. He had many, many honors bestowed upon him by the King of Thailand, especially the Somdet at the very end, the Somdet title. It's a very high title, very high-ranking monk, okay? And he had all of those honors bestowed upon him. But we have to remember he was also a humble monk who firmly believed that there could be world peace through meditation, that we could all learn to calm the storms in our minds, whether it's within our own personal world or whether it's the world all around us, which sometimes, especially these days, seems very chaotic. But Luang Por felt that we could all learn how to calm our minds so that we can cope with all these things. It doesn't mean that you're never ever going to have any problems. Of course you are. We're human. Things happen. But through meditation, we begin to know our own minds. We begin to know what pushes our buttons, begin to know how we react to things. And with that knowledge and that calmness of mind, we begin not to react to things. We can respond rather than react. So it's not always easy. This is a 5-month course. It used to be a 6-month course. It's 5 months now. It's a 5-month course. It's 5 nights a week. So it takes a lot of commitment and some work. You know, sometimes if you look at popular media, you see these pictures of on magazine covers, especially in the yoga magazines, and you can see, and they're all sitting there very serene, and everybody's sitting perfectly. And that's great. And eventually we may do that. However, it does take some work, and it does take some commitment. But what you'll discover is that it's well worth the effort. And we all need to discover that for ourselves, okay? Anyway, at this time, I think you should meet your instructors, who will each say a few words about their experiences with meditation and how they managed to do it five nights a week, okay? And we'll talk about that a little later, about what you're required to do as a full-time student, okay? But we'll start. I think I will start with Arden, and if you would say a few words, please.
Hi, welcome everybody. Many years ago, I started to go to meditation groups and take some classes, and I was looking for inner peace and to slow my mind down a little bit. And I tried and enjoyed many of these meditation methods, and I was calm while I was in the meditation, feeling great, and then I would walk out the door, someone would cut me off on the way out of the parking lot, and boom, there goes my temper again. So nothing really changed in my mind once I got off of the mat. So in 2008, I met some people who were taking this course, and I was very intrigued with it because there was theory as well as the practice. And COVID hit, so I was able to take the course on Zoom, and that way I was able to make that commitment. And as the evenings went on and I just kept showing up to class, and the theory I found it very confusing at times, but I just kept going and kept the practice, and I found throughout the day, something that would normally push my button took longer to push my button, or I had a milder reaction to something that normally would make me frustrated or immediately angry. So that helped to strengthen my commitment to the course. And it's very interesting, it's fun, and I learned so many things that I had never known that I didn't even know. And I know that this is a practice that you just continue learning. So welcome everybody, and thank you.
Thank you, Arden. So next, Carolyn.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm a graduate of the Red Oak. I was one of the first graduates from Los Angeles in 2019. The class started in 2018 and I graduated in 2019. Like many of you, curiosity brought me to meditation. Definitely I needed it because I was all over the board, you know. Procrastinated, you know, I was a procrastinator, was hesitant, you know, in doing a lot of things. And when I first came, I thought, okay, I'll give it a try, but no way did I think that I was ever going to do the whole course because it seemed like a big commitment. But each night I kept on getting drawn back, you know, it was interesting. And I started to feel a difference in myself. I had a digestive problem and, you know, after during a break, you know, we would go and eat and I'd say, oh, no, you know, I didn't want to eat because, you know, I had stomach problems. And then I started to notice that gradually, you know, that started to go away. So that's like one benefit. I never, at the same time, I never thought that I would become an instructor, but here I am and so happy to be so because it's also brought me into a community that I really respect and enjoy being with. And it's introduced me to many of you who are taking the course and who have graduated. If I can do an analogy, I always think about it as like walking on the beach the first time. You know, you have your shoes on, and same thing when you enter the Thai, you know, the Thai center, you had to take your shoes off, which I was a little uncomfortable. And then, you know, like on the beach, you take your shoes off and then you kind of venture out towards the edge of the water and you're walking and it feels good. And that's how meditation felt the first time, the experience, it felt good. Then you decide you want to go a little deeper. And that was my fear. You know, I was always afraid to go deeper into myself. And so then I thought, okay, so you enter the water and that first wave comes back and you run out and it's scary. But then as you get more used to going into things and the explanation of the theory, you aren't afraid anymore. And that's where I'm at right now, is that I look forward to reaching every level that's there for me to attain. And we're all different. It's going to all mean different things to every one of us, but it's tools that will get you to being happier and really discovering yourself. And I think that's what brought, you know, why I continue doing this and even teaching, because I get excited about sharing that with everybody else. So I hope that you don't get discouraged and that you stay with the course. And, you know, it's a great group of people and they're very supportive. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. I like your imagery of the beach and the sand. Anyway, okay, next, Charmaine, if you would say a few words, please.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. And I hope that you continue to come to the classes on Zoom. It's a new experience for everyone, I think, to do meditation online. It's something that's a little different. I took the class in 2005. I graduated, and just as Carolyn and Arden said, I didn't think I would finish the class. In fact, I saw the ad in the newspaper that there was going to be a master teacher coming from Thailand, because at the time Luang Por was able to travel and he did the orientation and the opening classes. And I thought, okay, well, that would be interesting. I'll come for that one night. I thought it was one night. You could learn all you needed to know. And then that would be great. I'd go home and I'd be a master meditator. So I found out quickly enough that it was a 6-month course and it was 5 nights a week at the time. And we didn't have the option at that time to just come when you can. We really had to stick it out. So I thought, well, I'll try it out for the first week and see if I'm going to do this or not. And I really enjoyed the theory. The theory was really interesting. It takes you to fully understand what's happening in the mind and why you have all this talking going on, and why you can't, clear the mind so easily, why it's so hard to sit and meditate. You'd think that if you could just sit quietly and think of nothing, that sounds easy, but it's something that everyone struggles with. So the theory really helps you to understand why you struggle with it, and to be kind to yourself. And I really enjoyed it, and it was really I started feeling benefits from it even within the first, I'd say the first month. I was able to sleep better at night. There's just little things that I started noticing, and just kept coming back. I wanted to learn more. I thought, this is great. This is, even if it's only that I get to sleep better at night, I was hooked. And then I, was invited to be an instructor, and I was very honored. And so, yeah, I've been teaching the class ever since. But this Zoom class is only my second time on Zoom. I taught the first Zoom class, but I sometimes struggle a little bit with my Wi-Fi. So I hope everyone will continue to show up every night if you can, and you will definitely benefit.
Thanks, Charmaine. I think she's not alone, and many of us felt that when we first started the course, oh, it's one night a week, sure, I can do that. And it turned out to be more than that. Luckily, it turned out to be more than that, because we learned a lot. Okay, and so next I will ask Corey. Is Corey here?
Yeah, I'm here, Emily.
Oh, there's Corey. Okay, Corey, you're up.
Perfect. Hi. First off, congratulations to everybody for just taking the first step to just being here. I started my meditation journey in about 2013. I was very fortunate to find the Willpower Institute in Niagara Falls in 2014. When I first started taking the course, I wasn't 100% able to finish the course at that time. I did come back a couple years later and finish the course with Emily's amazing instruction, and Charmaine and everybody else who was there. It is a commitment to do this, but the reason why I believe everybody is here is for the commitment for yourself. And when I realized that commitment for myself was this important, coming to the meditation class 5 days a week, it was easy. Some days were more difficult to get there, but it is easy, and the end result is absolutely extraordinary. You will learn so much about yourself in the 5 months coming up that it could probably take you decades to learn if you didn't have meditation. The one thing you will learn to love is VT Sa, and you'll learn what that is later, but that is an amazing thing to have in your back pocket. And again, just congratulations and welcome to everybody. And I'm very much looking forward to having our discussions about meditation with each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. So he threw a word in there that we'll tell you more about it a little later. Okay. Justin, would you like to say a few words, please?
Sure. Welcome, everyone. My name is Justin. I had a slow introduction into meditation, kind of like Carol alluded to at the beach. In 2019, I was at a low spot, and I was looking to just quiet my mind. And so I started reading about spirituality, which led me to meditation. And one of my friends noticed that a temple opened up down the road, and maybe we should check it out. And prior to that, I was, reading about meditation and listening to guided meditations, kind of those popularized Western guided meditations. But I didn't really, tip my toes in the water yet. So once I got to the temple and met some monks, and there was a willpower instructor there, and he introduced us to, you know, a little bit of the method and started talking with us, and we would meditate twice a week together. And that started developing a habit, and I started noticing benefits, and I wanted more. And then we started meditating and chanting. And I really got a lot out of it, and I wanted even more. And he informed us that a class was coming up. So I enrolled in the class. And at first, it was a big commitment. You know, after the first week, I couldn't believe I finished 1 week. And looking back, I was like, wow, 10 hours in 1 week. I can do that. I had no idea how much time I was wasting before. But just slight adjustments in scheduling and a lot of determination. This is very doable. 5 nights a week is very doable. And you will get so much more out of it than you ever put in. And you just take it one day at a time and keep coming back. And you'll see the benefits. Like other instructors have said, I find myself being less reactive. My mind is quieter. I can consciously react to things, and I don't get so stressed out over stuff that I don't need to be. And just keep coming back. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. I like that one. I like what you said about consciously. Very often, you know, we go through life right on autopilot. And we're not very conscious of what we're doing. And so meditation teaches us to do that, to become more conscious, to become more aware of why we react to things and why are we doing certain things. So you do get to know your own mind. So thank you, Justin. Okay, and next, Mandy. I saw Mandy. Where did she go?
Hi.
Hi, Mandy.
Nice to meet everyone tonight. That video, first off, was just beautiful. It's the first time I ever got to see it. And yeah, I think it's awesome. It's great to be here, and it's great to see Lung Pa's vision continuing after his passing. And it's more invigorating now a little bit to continue on. And so I'm 33 years old. I used to work in law enforcement. I was injured catastrophically on duty, and it gave me the time to be able to take the meditation course. I had been hanging around the temple since I was probably 16. And finally the time came, and it was at the worst of times in my life. And I've continued to have many traumas and struggle. And this has been the #1 savior for my life, but also for understanding myself. As everyone said, it gives you more patience. In the beginning, I didn't think I would be able to commit to the timing either. I couldn't drive now, so I had to find somebody in the group that would just volunteer their time to pick me up and take me to the temple, which was quite amazing as well. It brought that sense of community right off the bat, and the opportunity. Just knowing that there is that space in samadhi where you can get tranquility, you can get that feeling that you're seeking even in the hardest of times. So continuing to build that practice from now on is going to help you even for first aid meditation when you need it in that moment and there's nothing else that's going to cut it. I've been able to meet Lung Pa many times. He was always so gentle and caring and encouraging to the Canadian students. So I hope that you guys are excited just as much as I am to have this routine started. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy, and thank you for sharing some of your struggles. I know it wasn't easy, and yes, Mandy, I've known her for years, and she did come to the temple quite often, and yes, so we were very fortunate to be in Luang Pa's presence, and so we're really fortunate to do that. Okay, and let me see, Nova, you're next.
Yeah, thank you. Hi again, everybody. Yeah, I was drawn to meditation because I was at a very low point in my life. And I think a lot of people probably go to meditation because something's missing. And, you know, everybody knows that when they hear about meditation, oh, you know, people that meditate seem to be happier, seem to be more peaceful. And it's like, you know what? I want some of that and I need some of that. And so what happened to me was there had been 2 suicides in our family, 4 weeks apart. And I was literally a walking zombie, I say. You know, a huge part of me died as well. And for 3 years, complete joylessness of life. And then one day I was walking into a Staples store, saw a big poster with Luang Pa sitting there with the biggest smile. And my heart just warmed immediately. And it said, oh, free meditation course starting September 9th. Wow. And that was just a few days away. And I thought, I'm going. I just have to go. And so it was such a blessing to see that poster. And, you know, I went alone. I was so brave, you know, I had no friends to go with or anything. I just had to go. And so, yeah, when I found out about the course and it's like, oh, it's 6 months long and all this, you know, 5 days a week, it's like, whoa, that's really overwhelming, you know. But I took it in small bites and I just made it easy for myself, saying 1 day at a time. I'm just going to take it 1 day at a time. So I started the course in 2004 in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and graduated in 2005. And over the years, I too was able to spend a lot of time with Luang Pa. And what an honor and a privilege that was to be in the presence of that man. But he loved Edmonton. He loved cold weather, if you can imagine, coming from Thailand. He loved the cold. So he spent a lot of time in the winters in Canada. And yeah, it was, you know, we had some pretty rough winters, and, you know, especially that first year, staying committed and driving, you know, a long ways in snowstorms and stuff like that. I did it, you know, I was just, even though I took it one chunk, 1 day at a time, I was just so inspired to go. I just was thirsty for the knowledge that I was gaining. It was just incredibly interesting to me. And of course, yeah, the benefits, they can show themselves quite quickly, especially in regards to just maybe sleeping a little better. You know, there's just this more peaceful mind that starts to develop, and you begin this inner journey of your own mind, which is, wow, I think it'd be better than any trip around the world. Like, the mind is an incredible space, your own mind. And so just to get to know yourself better and how to slow things down, how to slow your emotions down, and recognize when you maybe are going off the rails a bit. I mean, there's so many benefits. And in that way, it helps your family members too. It helps your friends, it helps your colleagues at work. So yeah, and now actually, this is my 3rd session that I'm teaching on Zoom. I did some teaching while I was in Edmonton. I am now living in Mexico, and I've been here for almost a full year, but actually started traveling back and forth since 2007. So yeah, it's such an honor and a privilege to be teaching for the Willpower Institute, and I hope that I invite you all to, you know, to come and try it out and just take it 1 day at a time. And I really hope to see you all here starting classes on Monday. So thank you.
Thank you, Nova. Said a couple of key words there, free, and then you said 1 day at a time. And that's, sometimes it's 1 hour at a time, right? But that's really good advice, and thank you for sharing. And last but definitely not least is Peggy.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Emily. My journey is very similar to everybody else's. I welcome you all. It's an amazing, amazing journey for you. I come from a very high stress life. We run 2 businesses, 2 kids, heavily involved in our community. And I took many, many meditation courses, and it was wonderful, as Arden said, for the time. I was good while I was there. But then the minute I walked out the door, life got in the way again and became a big stressor for me. So I made a commitment to myself to set aside time for myself. I attended in Niagara Falls in person, and I took the 2019 course and graduated in 2020. And at first I thought it was impossible because this was a daytime course, 1 to 3. There is no way I could do this. Absolutely no way. What's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? Who's going to do this? But, you know, after the first week, I thought, wow, I did this. And it's funny, everything fell into place. There was no stress here. Everybody was good. Nothing fell apart. Everything continued on. And then came the peace that I found. I struggle with migraines, and I found that I could get myself to a level of calm. I could get myself to a level of peace. I could get myself to a level of calming that monkey mind. And I kept coming back and coming back and coming back. And then I graduated, and now I'm here and I'm an instructor. And I'm so honored to be here as an instructor. And I look so forward to going on a journey with all of you. And I hope you come back on Monday. It's a wonderful course, a lot of info, but the theory is amazing because it really lets you understand what's going on in your mind and how we got to where we got to and how we need to get to where we need to get to it, of calmness and peace. I wish you all well, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. Excuse me. So that's 8 of your teachers. There is one more, but he's busy at the moment. He may join us hopefully by the end of October. And lucky you're going to have 2 at a time. They're going to be co-teaching. And we've done that in the past. Charmaine and I have done that in person in Niagara Falls, and that's always an interesting way of teaching as well, because then you know we each have our own kind of ideas of what's happening, and one of us may pick up something that maybe the other one missed, and so it's a great way. It's a great way of teaching, and so when you do come next week, there you are. You've got all of those wonderful teachers. So thank you, Ajans. At this point, I am going to ask Carolyn to give you an overview of this course regarding the books, attendance requirements, all of those things, okay? So Carolyn, if you're ready, please let them know what's happening. Okay.
Thank you, Emily. Well, I hope everybody's been inspired by all the instructors who gave their stories of how they got interested in the course. And even though the course offered here at Willpower is primarily focused on samatha meditation. And samatha is a Pali word which refers to calm, abiding tranquility and serenity. It's not only a particular form of meditation, but it's also a state of mind. And you'll be introduced to a lot of Pali words. And so I find that I love languages. And so it's a bonus for you because now you'll learn a lot of Pali words and learn how to pronounce them and learn their definitions. So it's almost like you're learning a new language also. Like many of you, this is the only course of meditation that I took. So I'm not really familiar with many meditation courses out there, but I know that this one's unique because it does teach the theory. And it's very important because theory leads you to understanding of what's going on or what you're going to be experiencing. So, this is kind of a benefit. It's more than just, thinking of, a quiet place and just meditating. As mentioned before, our master teacher, Lumpa Vidiyan, his vision was developing a course to spread meditation in hopes that world peace, that, this people would have happiness and get along and develop world peace. And our master, even though his roots are based in the philosophies of Buddhism, as mentioned before, meditation is not considered a religion, but rather a discipline and practice of self-improvement. And then, so the focus of this course is to teach theory and practice and not meditation and not religion. The course consists of 22 weeks, and it's a course that starts Monday through Friday. And if you're in the Pacific Standard Time, it's from 4 to 6. Mountain Standard Time is 5 to 7. And Eastern Standard Time is 7 to 9. And again, the first class is this coming Monday. And I hope everybody will attend, because once you start the course, you're going to start realizing the change. And even if you don't realize the change in you, other people are going to start noticing it in you first. They're going to say, wow, there's something different about you. So it is worthwhile to come visit and see what the course has to offer. The course does have 3 books, okay, and it's volume 1, which I don't know if you can see, but it's volume 1, and they're very important. And although you're not obligated to purchase the books, it's highly suggested and advised that you do purchase book 1. It's a great source of information and is very valuable in guiding you through the various levels and attainment of the meditative mind. And as you could see, in book 1, I'll just read off some of the, the chapters. There's only 7 chapters, so it's not really a thick book, but there's so much information in it. You'll start learning about the preparation for physical conditions, procedures of meditation, resistant factors, mechanisms of the meditative mind, consequences and results of meditation, contemplation, jhana, and the best part is the glossary. That's where you'll learn all the words, and so, like samatha, you go and you say, what is samatha? And then you go look it up, so samatha is calm, tranquility, quietude of the heart. So it gives you a lot of information. And I always am a firm believer that this book sets the foundation for your practice. And it's very important. Not that the other 2 are not important, but this is really the most important book for you. Because it provides you with the tools needed for developing a strong foundation to proceed with the higher levels of the meditative mind. So you'll start understanding what's going on. And then once we complete book 1, we go to book 2, and book 2 is going to be talking about the conduction of Vipassana. Now, even though we do not practice Vipassana in this course, it is really important that you do know something about Vipassana. Vipassana is the inside meditation, because in order to get to Vipassana, you have to have a strong foundation in samatha. And because samatha will get you to samadhi. I think someone had mentioned the word samadhi, which is concentration. Okay, so you need a strong foundation in samatha. So those are the, the 2 books that are really we go into depth. And then there's a book 3, which is a very, small book. And this is basically explaining like the flower ceremony that you watched the video, and it goes, it explains other meditation practices and so on. So those are the 3 books, but I really, advise you to at least purchase book one. So now let's talk about the format of the class. Okay, and a lot of you have already heard it from other instructors, but the meditation class consists of a series of 98 lectures. And this is on the principles of the meditation and the practical applications of theory and the practice. And that's what you do for the first hour. And, you know, for the first hour, we'll be talking about the chapters and the material and, you know, maybe take a break here and there. But basically, your first hour is a lecture. Then after the lecture comes a 30-minute walking meditation, followed by a 30-minute sitting meditation. And that's basically what you do Monday through, you know, through Friday is the lectures and the practice. Now, in order to qualify, because at the end of the 22 weeks, there is an exam that you can write. And in order to qualify for that, you have to, there's 98 lessons. And in order to qualify to write the exam, you have to complete at least 73, no less than 73 of the classes. And in order to write. And once you write the exam and you pass, then you are given a certificate for the course. So it might seem like it's it might seem difficult for some to commit to this, but like Peggy said, you know, you come one day and you get so interested in what's being said that, you know, you want to come the next time and the next time and the next time. And before you know it, you know, you're at the end of the course. It does run pretty fast. You know, you don't realize it, but it does. Again, your group will be known as the Maple group. And another important thing to do is that in order for us to communicate with each other, there is the Line app. And this is something that everybody should, you know, put on their phones or their computer, because this is the way that your instructors will communicate with you, or if you want to communicate with each other or ask questions. So the Line app is I would say it's kind of mandatory to have, because you know, you'll be lost if you don't have this. You know, you just won't have the information that might be coming up, and so it's important. And if anybody is having difficulties in putting on the app on their phones or the computer, just let us know and we'll walk you through it. It does take a lot of time, and it is a big commitment. But like anything else, you know, the only way you could benefit from anything is putting in the time and effort. This is your personal journey. This is something for you. And but don't expect, you know, that meditation is going to solve all your problems. The problems are still going to be there. It's how you respond to things, you know. So it's not a quick fix, but it does help, because it brings you to a point in your life that you can make rational decisions and not be overwhelmed by the emotions that, you know, things might happen or occur in your life. So I hope that I gave you a quick overview of the course. And if I left anything out, Emily, you're welcome to say anything else.
Thanks, Carolyn. That's a nice little overview. And Carolyn mentioned walking and sitting. And so now next, we're going to show you a video about our technique, our method of meditation. There are 4 different postures, but we, of course, in Willpower, we do walking and sitting. So let's watch the video.
Walking meditation. Choose a walking path. Stand at the end of your path, hands in prayer position for a chant before beginning your walking. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Ubeka, Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Then do a slight bow. Then place your left hand on your abdomen, right hand on top. Eyes remain open. Lower your gaze to approximately 4 or 5 feet in front of you. begin walking with your right foot at a normal pace, not too fast, not too slow. When you reach the end of your chosen path, turn to the right, pause for a moment's reflection, then, leading with your right foot, walk back to where you started. When you reach the end, make a quarter turn again to the right, pause, and leading with your right foot, begin walking the other way again. Repeat until the bell rings. Chanting at the end of walking meditation. Sape sata sukita hontu ko hai satang lai jong ben suk tud. Sitting meditation. If sitting on a cushion on the floor, assume half lotus position. Right leg on top of left. Hands are on your lap, palm side up. Right hand on top of left. For those not sitting in half lotus position, you can sit with legs crossed to the side or straight in front of you. Eyes remain closed. Sitting in a chair, keep your back straight without straining, feet flat on the floor, eyes closed. Hands are on your lap, palms up, right hand over left. Chanting before sitting meditation. Kapajao, La Luktung, Kunpra Putajao, Kunpra Tam, Kunpra Song, Kunbida Manda, Kunkrupa Ajan, Jongma Dan Bendan, Haijai Kon Kapajao, Jongrum Lon Ben Samati, Buto, Damo, Sanko, Buto, Damo, Sanko, Buto, Damo, Sanko, Buto, Buto, Buto. Now ask yourself, who is the consciousness? Just once. Then let it go and begin your sitting meditation. Chanting after sitting meditation. Sabe sata sada hontu. Awira sukha chiwino, ko hai satang lai, jong ben pu, mai mi ven tau gan le gan, jong ben pu, dum rum chip, yu ben suk tuk matud, katang punyang, palang mai hung, sa pe paki, ba wan tu te, ko hai satang sinan, Jong ben pu, mi soandai, savoy pon bun. Anti kapajao, dai bumpen, launan turn. And now, respect to our master teacher, all together, Krab Namasakan, Pra Ajan.
Thank you, John. Regarding the chants, that whole first week, maybe even into the second week of the course, we will talk a lot about the chants. You'll have the English translation, and as you can see, there's a chant before walking, before walking, a chant after walking, and then a chant before sitting and a chant after sitting. But again, we'll go into details about that during the course on when you begin on Monday. Okay. So far you've had a fair amount of information, and I'd like to ask all of you, do you have any questions at this time? Something that was said, that what do they mean by that? You know, because there's a lot of info regarding this. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. I remember when 20 years ago when I took the course, you know, I was sort of overwhelmed by all of the information that was flowing into my head. And I remember going home and thinking, maybe that really isn't for me, you know. That's a lot of information. But I was so glad that I did continue, that I and like all of the other teachers have told you, you know, if I missed a course, if I missed a class, then I knew, you know, there was something not quite right about my day. So it's amazing how quickly, and I think Justin mentioned this, you know, how quickly you get into the rhythm of doing it, you begin to experience some of the benefits. And again, there's a lot about benefits, and we'll talk about that during the course as well. So does anyone have any questions so far? Ah, good question. A very good question. How do we order the 3 books? I'm not sure this year, to tell you the truth. John, do you have information on that?
Yes, we will advertising it online application, so you can follow the instruction from there. So basically, we are releasing the book one at a time. So book one will come first, and if you reside in Canada, you have an option to go to the nearest temple to you, or Los Angeles office will send it to you. But follow that line application with that question again when the class started, and we will tell you how. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Another important reason why you want to join Line, okay, why you want to be part of the Maple group online. Yes, if you're, as John mentioned, if you're near the Niagara Falls office, or the temple where we teach, then by all means, you can contact me. My name will be there in the line group someplace. And you know, if you're available or I'm available, you can come to the temple and pick up a book. Otherwise, sometimes we'll mail them if you're too far away. So yeah, so we'll sort that out as well. Okay.
Emily, I'm sorry, I forgot one thing.
Mhm.
Payment term, we take payment wire, Zelle, ZELLE, which is an application on most of the major bank for the United States. So you can send money wire the bank. All that instruction again will be on the Line application.
Okay. Thanks, John. So that's the US. In Canada, e-transfer, or what do they do?
I think Canada has its own system, but I just don't remember.
Okay.
We'll put that on the line too.
Yeah, I think we can e-transfer, or if you do come to the temple to pick up your books, then we'd appreciate that cash. That's the easiest thing to do. Okay. And as John mentioned, we just sell book 1 first. We don't sell all 3 books at once. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, by next week, by Monday or Tuesday, I'm sure you'll have more questions. And that's good. That's good, because all of our instructors like to answer your questions. Okay. So the reason you came here tonight was to meditate. So what we're going to do is a very brief meditation. So in the video, you saw the technique that we use for walking and sitting. So we're not going to be doing any walking tonight. Although I should mention, because you're all, you know, in your own homes, try and find a walking path in your home. Like I use my hallway here where I live. You should have, it should be at least where you could do at least 10 paces, but even more is better. Okay, and we'll talk about that next week as well. And we basically follow the Thai forest tradition. So we walk back and forth. I know that in some traditions they walk in a circle, but we walk back and forth. And those chants, you know, one's done before and one's done after. So we'll talk about that. So I just wanted to mention that, okay? And not to worry about the chants. I know I did when I first started. I thought I'll never get my tongue around those words, and I don't understand what they mean anyway. But then eventually, I began to I really respected them, and I really liked. They're like bookends, okay? They kind of put everything together. You say a chant, and this is what we're about to do, and then you finish, and then So I kind of think it's like bookends, okay? But we'll explain a lot of this. One of the things that wasn't mentioned, but we will mention it very briefly tonight, and not really expecting you to do it. Part of the technique is to find a word that you like. Now, some people may call it a mantra. Luang Por never did. He calls it silent recitation. So that's the key word, silent. You don't say it out loud. You say it in your mind. And examples of it are, peace, quiet, Buto, which simply means awakened. You can, if you're Christian and you want to use the word Jesus, but you need to don't choose a word that's going to bring up a lot of emotions. You may not want to bring up somebody that you dislike very much. You would want to say that name all the time, and vice versa. You might not want to say the name of your life partner, because that might bring up emotions. So kind of want a neutral word, okay? And then once you have that word, you choose what they call, what Luang Por calls a location point or a focal point on the front of your body. Okay, and Luang Por, I can still see him doing this when he taught. It's either here on the forehead, okay, heart area, or the navel. Now, in the books, it actually lists a few more. But anyway, those are the three that he recommends. It's a little tricky, because what you're trying to do is to merge those two things. But anyway, why? Why do you need it? Why do you need a word? Why do you need a mantra, silent recitation? Well, so that it's your anchor. So that when the mind wanders, you can come back to that word. Okay. And I guarantee you the mind will wander. Unless, of course, you were a master teacher yourself, and maybe now, you can do it just like that. But for most of us, it's a little bit of a struggle to merge those two things. But then you begin to realize the importance of it, and we've all ended up doing it, so you will too. So for tonight, let's just do a 5-minute sitting meditation, okay? And if you have a word that you're comfortable with, by all means, use it. But if not, I simply invite you to gently close your eyes, to sit quietly, and just let the mind be quiet, okay? And I've got a little dinger here that I will do. So, and we're not going to do the chant before, because it's just a short 5-minute one. Okay, so if everybody's ready, close your eyes very gently. Everyone feeling relaxed, calm, happy? I hope so. I hope so. That's just, of course, a little taste. 5 minutes, just a little taste of what you can accomplish during a half hour of walking and sitting. And we'll explain why do we do walking first and then sitting afterwards. So I sincerely thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. We're so thrilled that we're able to introduce you to the Willpower Institute meditation course and the teachings of Prajan Longpa Viryang. So I hope we will see you next week. And you'll probably have more questions by then, I hope so. And we'll give you much more information. Okay, so please enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we look forward to seeing you. We're going to finish with, you saw it on the video, respect to our master teacher. Usually we stand for that, but we'll, for this evening, if you will just bear with us, if we will all say, Krab Namasakan Pra Ajahn. Thank you. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. See you on Monday.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Bye-bye.